I'm sure by now those of you who watch this channel are quite familiar with the BBC's new fact-checking program, BBC Verify. Well, we have some good news for you guys, ladies and gentlemen, as BBC Verify have once again done a whoopsie. Yes, this whole fact-checking department, which is it's led by Mariana Spring, who herself has been exposed on this channel for lying on her CV. Her own CV needs to get fact-checked. They're in trouble again. Yeah, this story came to us from Guido. It's an exclusive story from Guido. BBC's disinformation hysteria over Trump joke account. Essentially, BBC Verify worked with their BBC Panorama to basically go and do fact-checking and expose the conspiracy theories and all the far right and the Trump supporters. And they accidentally targeted a parody account. Yes, there's a parody account on X or Twitter that generates AI, basically pictures of Trump, for example. It's just funny, historical pictures of him, and you can see this is one example with the black community, essentially, and they've got more of them. For example, this one, Trump history, said that the media often fails to mention that Donald Trump was in fact the fourth wise man who brought Jesus gifts after he was born. Or, for example, Donald Trump on his voyage to become the first person. Of course, this continues, but the biggest problem is the fact that the BBC Verify department and the fact-checking teams, they're not really doing the job they were supposed to be doing, because you have to hold the power to account. They do not fact-check the authorities, the establishment. How many times have we heard lies from politicians, from governments, especially since 2020 and the lockdown days? They don't fact-check those things. They're just going after parody accounts. Yes, this is the account we're talking about, the Trump history, which is obviously in the bio of the account. It says the documenting the history of the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, and in bracket it says parody. But again, the problem with the BBC Verify is not just that they don't hold the power to account or even fact check themselves, because they themselves have done a lot of, let's just say, mistakes. Accidental bias, right? Especially when it comes to the BBC and Hamas. Yeah, this one was also reported by Guido. BBC Verify was forced to update their own article citing Hamas, well, the claim that coming from the Islamists in Gaza as facts. BBC Verify reluctant to verify Hamas. I mean, it's not really that surprising, considering the BBC is the same organization that refuses to recognize Hamas as a terrorist organization. They continue to accept any claim coming from the health ministry in Gaza as a factual statements and statistics, and they do not hold the power to account like the United Nations, for example, or the UN agencies like the UNRWA in Gaza. They don't really care about them. They simply care about your own tweets and your own social media posts if you're a normal person. They are really worried about that, but not the power.